Where the hell is my pizza? You're wasting my damn time. Where the hell is my pizza? This has to be a crime. I waited 2 hours because this isn't fine. Where the hell is my pizza? You're wasting my damn time. My craving grew high. The show SpongeBob SquarePants is one of the greatest cartoons in American history, and the longest running cartoon in American history. But with every great cartoon, there's always something that catches viewers' eyes in a bad way. Let's talk about the most controversial SpongeBob episodes. Hey guys, I'm SpongeBob Collector, and before we get into the video, I hope you like, subscribe, comment, and do all that fun stuff. Let's get right into this video and talk about the controversial episodes. The first episode is Quarantined Crab. This 2022 episode was criticized for making light of the COVID-19 pandemic by putting a Krusty Krab under quarantine due to the clam flu. This episode was made during, actually, I don't know if it was still a pandemic at the time, but this episode was made while the United States was under pandemic due to COVID-19. Now, I can understand why this caused controversy, because it seems like SpongeBob, well, Nickelodeon grabbed onto this big, horrible, terrible outbreak that happened in the United States and just made it into a joke. So I can understand that. But at the same time, you know, during like bad situations like this, you gotta find something that'll make you smile and laugh, because that's what brings the world together, if you know what I mean. But I can see why this brought some controversy, because there's a lot of people that dealt with the COVID-19. A lot of people even passed from it. I can speak from experience. My grandma almost passed through this. She had a 1% chance of living, but she pushed through. What a warrior, ain't she? Next up is the episode Rock-a-Bye Bye Val. I didn't even know this episode was controversial, but let's see why. This episode became controversial for its depiction of SpongeBob and Patrick as a parental couple raising a scallop, which some viewers interpreted as a same-sex couple. First off, no hate towards LGBTQ. I might not fully agree with some of it, but I have no hate for anybody. First off, I didn't see this episode anything like that. All it was two best friends, Patrick and SpongeBob, raising a scallop. Because he couldn't even fly yet. He would not lived out in the wild just yet. What? SpongeBob dressed up as a female. Well, he has before this, and there was no issue. People laughed at it. And, you know, I don't see this as a same-sex couple, because SpongeBob and Patrick ain't even in a relationship. So yeah, I cannot understand why this was on this list. Maybe stop sexualizing cartoons? Just a thought, you know. Next up is Midlife Crustacean. This episode actually was banned. That's what's kind of crazy about it. But let's talk about it. The episode was banned from some airings due to a joke that was considered too suggestive for children, which was the Panty Raid. Mr. Krabs, Patrick, and SpongeBob went to Mr. Krabs' mother's house, and they snuck through the window and raided her drawers for her underpants. I can understand why this episode was banned and why it was more very too suggestive for children, because it was a pretty dirty joke. But like, it seems like they waited too long to ban it. They waited 20 years before banning the episode. Okay, it might not be exactly 20 years, but you know what I mean. This episode, I can say this episode, I understand the controversy behind it, and I can see why some parents would evade their children from this episode, but yeah, I guess I can actually see why this is controversial. The next one is Squirrel Jokes. This episode is controversial for its handling of racism through jokes about Sandy, though many agree that it ultimately makes an important point about stereotypes. I can understand this one. SpongeBob was making jokes about Sandy and squirrels. Well, she went to town and everyone started making fun of her, and even a woman pulled her kid away from Sandy. It was like, don't get too close to a squirrel, you'll catch it stupid. Which is pretty much blatant racism, honestly. 'Cause, yeah, that's how it would be with people of color back in the day. They would, same exact situation, you know, people wouldn't want their kids around them or anything, but you know, at the end of the day, this episode actually kind of taught everyone a lesson. He started making fun of everybody. He started making jokes about everybody. And he just showed that you gotta laugh about jokes, you know what I mean? You cannot, like, take a joke and target someone with it, you know? Everyone can have a joke told about them, and it's fine. We all gotta laugh at ourselves sometime, you know what I mean? So, I can understand why this was controversial, mainly due to when the people was making fun of Sandy. Here's a few honorable mentions. Are You Happy Now? Spongebob, You're Fired. Ink Lemonade. And finally, A Pal for Gary. Those are our honorable mentions. Now our final one, which I actually fully agree with why this is controversial. I actually think this is the worst SpongeBob episode ever made. One Course Meal. The episode is considered controversial due to its depiction of Mr. Krabs bullying Plankton, which some viewers felt was too dark and could be upsetting for children. Well, this was beyond bullying, honestly, in it. He figured out Plankton's fear, which was whales, whenever his daughter Pearl came into the kitchen while Plankton was in there, and Plankton freaked out. So Mr. Krabs dressed up as a whale and was bullying Plankton into a deep, dark depression, to the point where Plankton was laying on the road and waiting for a car to run him over. So this episode was dark, and I can't believe Nickelodeon actually made something like this. But yeah, this actually, in my opinion, is the worst SpongeBob episode of all time. Well, thank you guys for watching the video. Tell me some more videos down below that you feel are controversial. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, guys.
Whiskey in my brain, drowned in my vein, chasing these memories like a runaway train. You were my fire, now I'm stuck in the rain. With whiskey and the heartbreak, I'm losing my